Today we're going to be talking about the biggest mistakes home buyers make. Now look, one would think the title of this video should be first-time home buyers, but I see this whether someone's buying their house for the first time. I see this on people who are buying their third or fourth time, and it needs to stop because I don't want you guys losing money. I don't want you having heartache. I don't want you having a stressful life. Now, if you're new to this channel, I've been a mortgage lender for 19 years. My team is one of the top purchase teams in America. Yes, we lend across America. We want to help you. But the reason I'm telling you all of this is because we see everything, right? We don't just see one market and the real estate agents in it. We see all of America. And by seeing all of that, we have a very clear perspective on the consistent mistakes. So, if you need a lender, phone number 786-933-2077. We've got your back, but let's get into it. Number one, biggest mistake I see consistently, not researching the professionals you use. Right now, I'm actually dealing with a scenario where I have a buyer and their real estate agent is actively working against them to try to force them to buy a house they do not want. And you're like, what? Yeah, guys, it's hard for me to say because it's so crazy. The agent, the buyer's agent who is making money from helping the buyer, who's in a state where they have a fiduciary duty, which means they have to act on the buyer's behalf, is actually working against the buyer. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, yes, it happens. Yes, it happens. Look, for instance, the way that this client met this real estate agent, they've been looking for a while. They saw a house, they were the listing agent, they met them, they were nice, they did no other research. And so for the last few years, they've been working with this agent trying to find the right house. And it wasn't until they were in contract that they went, whoa, this person does not have my best interest at heart. And that's the thing. People go, oh, well, this real estate agent's nice. Like, how much can they mess stuff up? Like, why do I need some expert? Like, isn't AI going to replace them all? I'll just do it myself. A bad real estate agent or an agent that's just motivated by their check can do so much harm to you. It is unimaginable. And I say that because when you're purchasing a house, there's only a couple states that attorneys are involved. In most states, the real estate agent is the one negotiating a legal contract on your behalf. Yeah. And I've seen stuff, guys, where I'm like, wow. Because of YouTube, I get calls all the time and it still sticks with me. I had this gal call me and she's like, yeah, we don't want to buy this house, but we don't know how to get out. And we don't trust the lender and we don't trust the real estate agent. And I looked at the contract and I was like, how long was this house on the market? 3 months. Why do you have no contingencies? What are those? That goes into my next point. My next point is not understanding the terms of the contract. So when you're buying a house, in most states, you've got a real estate agent negotiating the contract, your contract to purchase on your behalf. In that contract, there's certain triggers, and it depends on state. So for instance, let's just use, let's use California. So California, the agent can negotiate for you to have an inspection period. What that means is that within a certain period of days, you can get your inspections. And if the property doesn't pass inspections or you want to back out because of inspections, you can get your money back. So sometimes we'll see agents do 14 days. Sometimes we'll see agents say no inspection contingency, which means if you have a contract where it says no inspection contingency, you get the inspection back and the house has a bunch of issues and you don't want to buy it, guess what? You're still in that contract. And at that point, you're talking to a real estate attorney. As a lender, we can't advise you on this. We're just lenders. But the key thing about this is you have someone negotiating a legal contract on your behalf. You need to understand the contract. So many people do not ask questions. They just go, oh, well, they'll do what's best for me. And I hate saying, that's always the problem with these videos, is because there's so many great real estate agents out there. Like I think of Sahar, I think of Michelle, I think of Katie, I think of Shelby, I think of Doreen, like I think of Ryan, I think of all these great people. I think of Damon, who negotiate for their clients, and they use these contracts to benefit and protect their clients. But then unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there where instead of using the contract to benefit their client, they're using the contract to guarantee their paycheck. So this call that I'm talking about where I saw it and I was like, wow, like there was no protection for the buyer. Zero. There was no financing contingency. So that means if they can't get a loan, usually most contracts will have like, if you can't get a loan within XYZ dates, you can get out. If the appraisal comes in low, you can get out. You know, most contracts have ways out at certain time periods. This one had none. There was none. And you're like, why would anybody write a contract like that? Number one, super competitive market. So look, in certain markets, when the market's hot, like San Francisco right now is hot, I would not be shocked if I saw a contract where there was no financing contingency, no appraisal contingency, no home inspection contingency, no contingencies at all, which basically means the buyer is buying that house, and if they can't, the seller's going to keep their money, and depending on what else they negotiated, there could be consequences. If there's a hyper competitive market, sometimes we see that. Generally, it's also a luxury market where you'll see someone waive everything because they have to have the money to back it. You know, if someone's doing a 0% loan, they have no money in the bank, how do you waive appraisal, right? If the appraisal comes in low, they don't have the money to bridge it. But the other time you see this is when a real estate agent's just trying to guarantee their paycheck. And thankfully, we do not see this a lot. But as a buyer, this is something you need to be aware of. You need to understand the contract. You need to understand the contract terms. You know, I'm thinking about, we bought this house last year, and our agent, love her, we recommend her to people in Jacksonville all the time. Sandy Miller, cannot talk highly enough about her. And, you know, besides going through the contract and saying, okay, here's this, when we got into contract, she sent us a list. And it was like, this is your loan approval contingency. This is your appraisal contingency. So that we knew, hey, if we're going to cancel because of XYZ, we have to do it by this date. So I would say that is something you should ask your real estate agent to do. Number one, go through the contract with you. Number two, explain the contract to you and dates. How do you get out if the house has a sewer that's overflowing or something you don't like? What do you do if the appraisal comes in low? What if your loan doesn't get approved? When would you get your earnest money back? Ask them all those questions and then say, once we're in contract, will you send me a sheet of all the dates and stay on top of these dates? And if they say no, don't work with them. It's literally their job. The only state, like there's a couple, but like New York, you're going to have an attorney. They're going to go through the contract, okay? But California, yeah, guess what? That's the agent's job. Texas, guess what? That's the agent's job. You know, there's certain states where that's the agent's job, and you may be like, well, I don't want to ask for too much. You're buying a house. You're not, guys, I would never have you ask for too much. Trust me, I really, really would not have you ask for too much. I just want you to be safe and protected because, you know, A, you need to work with a market professional that understands the market, but B, you need to understand the contract, and you need to not end up in a position where you're forced to buy a house that you don't want. And it's because you didn't understand the contract, you didn't ask questions. And you may be like, well, they just sent it to me, so I signed it. Guess what, guys? If you're not asking the questions, but you're signing the documents, you're legally signing a document. So really, really, really be careful with that. So on the research, besides researching the real estate agent, you do need to research the home inspector and also the mortgage lender. So that big mistake is not researching the professionals involved. I've seen all of that go sideways. The second big mistake was not understanding your contract, the terms of your contract, or what rights to get out of the contract you have. Also, to make sure that the real estate agent you're working with is negotiating on your behalf and not just the behalf of their paycheck. I don't want this video to go too long, and it really could. The other big mistake we see is people are not aware of the mortgage payment or financial obligation to buy a house. So I always recommend that when you get pre-approved, you do a full underwrite. That's something if you're working with us, which I would hope you would. A lot of you guys have watched my videos for years. Save yourself the pain and just call us. We do a full underwrite. We go through what to expect with payment. We can go up and down based on what you're comfortable. We talk about taxes. We talk about homeowners insurance. We talk about what to expect with closing costs. We talk about should you be negotiating with the seller for closing costs. We do all of that up front. And the reason we do that is because you need to understand your financial obligations. The other place you need to know if you have an additional financial obligation, I can advise you on down payment, closing costs, tell you like, hey, get a homeowner's insurance quote from a real homeowner's insurance agent. Go to the county site. Let's look at those taxes, all that fun stuff. Here's what to expect with a mortgage payment. But we're in the era of the buyer's agreement. So what that means is a real estate agent, when you hire one, in most cases, they're going to have you assign a buyer's agreement. The buyer's agreement is what they expect to get paid in commission. You need to understand that as well. That's another contract you need to go through with them, because some agents will negotiate with the seller for their commission and some just expect you to pay it. So if you're going to be on the hook for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, you need to know it. So when you guys are going to sign that buyer's agreement, you need to read it, you need to understand it, you need to know that you can negotiate it. And if the real estate agent won't go over any of this and just tells you to sign it, walk away and find another one. That can be a huge financial obligation, and it's not one you want to walk into lightly. I've had clients where I'm like, hey, did you realize that you're paying the real estate agent like $15,000? They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's all here. Your contract doesn't have the seller paying it. It's all here. You might want to verify with them. And they verify, and the agent's like, yeah, it's in the buyer's agreement. And they're like, well, but I didn't know. You signed it. You didn't read it? You didn't read what I sent you? Well, you didn't tell me it was 15, but I sent it and you signed it. Yeah, it happens, guys. It happens. And those are the biggest mistakes I see that can lead to you as a home buyer, having a horrible experience. We see it in Reddit all the time. I'll read through it and I'm like, ooh, this could have been avoided. This could have been avoided. We don't want you to go through that. And then number two, we're talking about a lot of money. A good real estate agent versus a bad one, hundreds of thousands of dollars. A bad one's going to push you into a house that's not a good investment that you don't even want. A good one's going to find you a house that's going to last for the long term and is going to help improve your financial position, right? I'm not saying they're money managers, but a good agent's going to negotiate a contract that benefits and protects you. A bad agent's going to negotiate a contract that benefits the seller and protects their paycheck. In terms of lenders can be just as bad. They can rip you off. They can take advantage of you. You want to make sure you're working with a good one. Home inspectors, some are blind, some actually call out the problems. A bad home inspector, you could end up literally living the movie, The Money Pit. Tom Hanks, look it up. Great movie, watch it. Funny, sad, dramatic, all of it. So I hope this video was helpful. And look, I already know, and it makes me so happy. I know a couple of you guys who've watched this. You will be going through those contracts. You will be researching real estate contracts to make sure you don't end up in a lemon. You'll be researching that buyer's agreement, knowing what you can negotiate, making sure they're negotiating with the seller. And that makes me so happy, because the way that we help more Americans get into houses is by empowering, educating, and that's what I'm here for. So anyways, if you guys need a lender, give us a call, 786-933-2077. Thanks for watching.